Dear friends, we are going to see today 10 points about proper communication in the schools, especially the teacher student, teacher management, teacher parents, etc. We need communication, and proper communication has to be, effective communication has to be done. And there are non-verbal communications. We have language, we have gestures, we have speech, we have expression, movement, silence, and facial expressions, etc., and body language, etc. So when we talk about the communication, we need to have this the entire climate of communication in a schools. So today what I am going to do is with you, for my students and staff, etc., 10 points I will explain to you for effective communication in a school, very briefly in a short video. The first one is we need to have speaking to people. Speak people means there is nothing as nice as cheerful word or a greeting. We need to cheerfully, we need to talk to people in a very acceptable manner. People should feel comfortable with us when we talk to somebody. That is why the first aspect is speaking to people from the heart. The second point for a teacher or a school person is that we must have a smile. Always smile. Smile should be there. So when we have a smiling face, children will get attracted to the teachers. Teachers will get attracted to the children in the positive sense, and there is a relationship is built. Suppose nobody would like to come to a person who is very very sad and grief stricken. We like people who are happy, and happiness comes out through our smile. When children say good morning sir, good morning teacher, good morning ma'am, etc., we need to respond to the children very very positively. That's why, and that even if you cannot say 2000 students or 3000 students a day good morning, but then you can have your facial expression that it will be very very welcoming and accepting. And therefore we need to have that cultivating that habit of smiling at children and smiling at everybody. The third point is, as a teacher you must remember this: if you can call your students by name, that will be a great building up a relationship with the students. Call pupil by name, call people also by name, one another also. Don't treat them with non-identical people. We need to have identity, must be given an identity, an individuality. That comes only when we call people by name. In the jail sense, we have number. We have a taxi, we call a taxi, driver. That means we are simply undermining or negating the individuality of that person. We are simply making that person as like any other machines. I think in the school we need to give that individuality. We call everybody by name. That's why the success of the principal is, or the teacher is, whether he or she knows the names of her or his children. Next point, I think the fourth point we can accept is that be friendly and helpful. In an atmosphere of school, school must be a friendly place where everybody feels comfortable. If we keep people on a distance, there is no friendliness, only too much of strictness or too much of permissiveness. Both are not good. We need to have friendly and helpful. I've seen in my career as a principal or as teacher, etc., in the schools I have seen those who are friendly, students will flock it. If we are friendly, students and the other persons will like us. So be friendly and be helpful. Another aspect is the fifth point we can think of is we must be cordial to people. Cordial means very welcoming and very very positive. A cordial relationship is very significant in the life of everybody. I think cordiality is one of the qualities of a teacher must cultivate. And when he is cordial, children will feel more comfortable and they will grow positively with good qualities. And you will become an inspiring teacher or role model for your students. So Keep this aspect in mind. The sixth point is we must be genuinely interested in people. We're genuinely interested in people. You don't look at the caste and religion and ethnicity and religion, what you call the regionalism, etc. We must consider everybody as good, as our children, as our people, our person. I must consider myself as an extension of you, and you must consider that others are an extension of self. Therefore, our relationship will be. How nice it would be such a world. And somebody, as a Latin American poet said, how nice it is to live in order to love. If we have that kind of an atmosphere, somebody said, if we do not have time to love, then where do we find time to hate? I think these are all very, very philosophical, deep concepts to think and reflect. And therefore, let us be genuinely interested in our students, interested in our colleagues, and express that interest by listening to people, to appreciating the people when they do good works, etc. Seventh point is we must be generous with praise and cautious with criticism. When we want to criticize somebody, I think we need to be in restraint. But it is good that we generously appreciate the children, because everybody likes to be appreciated. Especially when they do a good work. A reward that you can give is a good word, encouragement. We know Thomas Alva Edison's story. He was encouraged by his mother. When he was dismissed from the school, mother read that letter in a different way. You must have heard that story. At the end, when he got the Nobel Prize and finally he saw that original letter, he says, this award, this reward, this Nobel Prize does not belong to me. It belongs to my mother, because that one single word of encouragement, that made me what I am today. And therefore, it's our duty to be ambassadors of encouragement. In the school, we must learn to encourage people. I think when we encourage people, they will automatically be positive. I think, therefore, be generous with your praise and cautious with your criticism. You should know when to criticize, when to tell, etc. Suppose you want to say correcting the children, very important. Never do it in public. Take the child aside and you tell seriously the mistakes he has done, but not in public. Because when you say it public, it hurts the person, and there will be a lot of guilt feeling, and the relationship will be broken, and he also will be in trouble, you also will be in trouble. It is better that we praise the people publicly and reserve our criticism individually. Next point we must consider for our communication in the school is that be considerate about the feelings of others. My dear teachers, we must be sensitive to one another. A good quality of a teacher's good quality is to be sensitive. Sometimes we are carried away by our own emotions and feelings. That's not correct in a school. We need to be considerate of the feelings of others, because even a small child has a right to respect that right. Be considerate of the feelings of others. It will be appreciated. That's why certain amount of confidentiality, certain amount of sensitivity is a very, very required qualities of a teacher. The ninth point, I think, is primarily important to have a thoughtful of the opinion of others. Somebody expresses their opinion. Children speak something. Listen to them. They may be opposite to your point of view. Fine. Let us learn to agree to disagree. We need to encourage this critical thinking. We need to encourage children to ask questions. We must ask children to be genuine. And if they have something in their mind, let them express. Then we can. That gives you a lot of opportunity in the schools to enter into the lives of the people, and they will also accept you. I think thoughtful of other people's opinion is very, very important. In the light of the background which we are seeing today, there is a lot of what we call intolerance is happening. Nobody wants to listen the other. and dissenting voices have been suppressed everywhere. All over the world, we see this trend is coming up, and I think it's very, very unfortunate. We in the schools must be thoughtful of the opinion of other people. Both management, teachers, and the student community must be of this be sensitive and thoughtful. And finally, we need to alert to give service to people. Today, in the context of this coronavirus, we have seen if people were not generous, if people were not in the service sector to help out people, especially our alumni, we have seen NGOs, many organizations, religious organizations, everybody is generously coming out to help the migrant workers, etc. I think that generosity has to be encouraged. Today we must encourage our children to be more and more service oriented people. We need more health workers, we need more social workers, we need more people who genuinely come out and help each other. We need to encourage the police, for example, the people who are maintaining the law and order, people who are helping each other. Service sector has to be there. And teachers, mind you, teaching job is a service sector. I think we need to encourage our children not only for earning money, not only simply running after money and wealth and power and profit. We need to have service oriented, helpful, happy people in the country. And if we do that, I am sure we will have a different world. Communication is so important, therefore, in our schools. A progressive school, a good school will have better communication and the atmosphere of communication in the schools. Therefore, we need to plan out improving our communication at all levels. We need to set a goal and strengthen our limitations, etc. Establish priorities. We need to target our audience and messages, especially in the school, and the type of children coming, what areas they are coming, etc. must be understood and deal with them. Reach out to the diverse community groups is very, very important. Interculturality is the word which I can think of. Interculturality, not one culture, not one religion, not one caste, etc. We must respect, accept, and encourage this diversity. And finally, evaluate our own effectiveness of communication time to time. I think if we follow all these things, I am sure our schools will be more effective, more efficacious, and our teachers and staff and children, everybody will be communicating better with one another. I think that is what we are expected of today in the light of this so much of intolerance that are happening in our society. It is the duty of us to be better communicators and communicate with one another very effectively and efficaciously. Thank you very much, and God bless